Welcome to the doghouse. I hope you're all having a great day today. This is going to be about politics. I know some of you get offended by it and others don't. But this isn't really about left or right. Yes, I voted for Trump, but I'm proud I did. I'm not ashamed of it. Nobody should be ashamed if they voted for Harris either. Nobody should be ashamed if they voted for an independent. The main thing is you went out and voted. So many times the election is not won by who votes, it's won by who don't vote. So whoever's in office, if you voted for the other person, maybe you should have a self-check in yourself and figure out what was what. But this is not about a party. This is about people going out and really don't want a budget in this country. I'm talking about the Senate and the House. Their approval rating is low for a certain reason, because they care less about their constituents and more about themselves. And I'm going to get to the budget here. The budget has always been a problem, and it isn't because they can't do it. It's because if they take that issue off the table, it really hurts them. I don't care left or right. They don't, whoever is in charge, we've had both the right in office, like we do right now, and the left in the office, and they cannot get a budget done. One of the reasons, in my opinion, this happens is the fact that it is a hot political issue, and if you actually go out and do a budget, get it taken care of like it should be and like it was designed to do, you're taking away a political issue, whether you're left or right. You're going in there and you're removing that issue from the political party, because people will fall for it every time, left or right. Just like the recent budget. There was not enough votes to pass it. Well, yeah, Republicans don't want to pass it either because they take an issue away from them. They care less about what you guys think and more about what they think. That means I don't care if you're left or right, you need to put pressure on that politician. Yes, those holdouts on the Republican Party, for the most part, knows that if they voted for that, that issue is off the table. And they're more worried about getting votes than they are about the American people. It sounds kind of dumb because they both go together, but in their minds they split it up. Now, the other side's done the exact same thing. They've had enough in there to get things passed, but refused to do so. They even refused to bring up bills that had already passed. One of the houses and it goes to the other. Well, yeah, and both sides do that too. You got to look at the whole picture, not left or right. You have to look at what is really going on. They can go out there and have the greatest talks in the world and tell you how we should do this and we should do that. We need the budget, we need it now. Then you have people vote against it. Their words out of their mouths mean nothing. Their actions do. All they're doing is rallying up, and some of these people out there will go out there and say, well, I tried everything I could to get a budget passed, but it just didn't work. We need a budget now. The same person out there hollering that is the same person that voted against it. They had an excuse why not to vote for it, but in the reality is they never planned to vote for anything. and we fall for it every time. We put people in there that do not want anything to pass, because then you're taking away votes on the issue. If you don't have that issue out there, like the budget, if that's all under, well, I should say, if that's done, you just took away a big issue come election time. And you don't think that's not why we haven't had a bill passed for budget in a long time? Is because they don't want it. They don't think for a minute they don't work with the other side to get things not done. And this has been going on and on and on. And that's because people, one, they don't go out and vote. Two, they're willing to listen to what they're saying and not look at their actions. In Idaho, we have, and I won't say who, but we have a congressman that probably did vote for the budget, but 9 chances out of 10, he does things completely opposite of what a party of the right would do, or what their constituents want him to do. I will not vote for this guy. I will vote, and I do. I vote for an independent over him every time, every 2 years, because I just won't vote for him because he's not who he says he is. He is another one of them that will holler this and this needs to be done and refuse to help get it done, because that's taken a vote or something, an argument out of the picture for re-election. And he's more worried about being re-elected than he is representing the people in Idaho. And you can go look and find out for yourselves on this guy. I guess I have a coffee with a guy like 3 days a week. He comes in, and we disagree on that. He says, well, it's better than the alternative. No, it's not. He's voting exactly against what he says he needs accomplished. That shows you there too that I'm not left or right really a lot of times. I will not vote for somebody that spews words out of their mouth without action. Now I know and I understand why a lot of people don't like Trump and not vote for him, but I'm not one of them that, because I was going to say something else, but why I voted for Trump, to me, he runs on the ticket of the left, but really he is more of an independent than we've ever had in office in my time. And like I said, I can see people not wanting him in there because he is kind of arrogant. There's no doubt about that. Even if you voted for Obama when he was in office, he's kind of the same way. He's kind of an arrogant guy doing not what the people want, but what he wanted. That's a problem you have in the Congress too. They try to cater to people that give them money. And once again, this is both sides. That's why some of this stuff that's coming out now, they don't want nothing to do with the change in it. Why? Because they're getting money somehow or another, obviously. Just go look at some of these people's paychecks that are getting in Congress and the Senate. Their wealth is more than their paychecks for doing their job is. You ever figure out there might be a problem somewhere along the line that this is happening? Yeah, they're taking money from somewhere, somehow. And it could, I'm not saying it's illegal what they're doing. They found a way around, skirt around it to get the money. I'm not accusing it of being an illegal activity. I'm accusing of it being wrong. And like Doge comes out, look what they've done. Whether you like the guy or don't like him, look what he's doing. He's found bad things in Social Security that has nothing to do with us getting our Social Security check. This is somehow or some way they figured out how to manipulate the system. And once again, it isn't one left or right. It's both of them that's been doing it. Because we're listening to what they say, not what they do. We're very good at that. Somebody says something really, really good, and I'm just as bad. I'll start to fall for it instead of looking what is the actions happening, like in Congress and the Senate. How did these guys get this money? Forget what they are saying. Think about how they got this money. Extra money. And this isn't a pipe dream of saying this isn't happening, because it is. It has been shown. Yes, it has been shown what is going on. And once again, we fall for the words and not the actions. When we do that, we get ourselves in trouble, and we all fall for it. How many of them people out there, even the voters sometimes, you can show them on either side something's going wrong and this is happening, and they will defend it. And if the other side did the same thing, they would be hollering about it. Our political views are our political views, but you have to look at the actions the Congress and that are taking. And there's no doubt about it. Those on the right that are holding up the passage of the bill for budget is a political move, not the right move. And they know it. Now, it could have been reversed, and it's shown, and it has. The other party 100% in charge, the exact thing happens. Is that by accident, or is it by design? I'm not talking about the words out of their mouth, but the actions that were taken. When you look at the actions, it is different than what they actually say. So many times you go out there and look at it, and you can have, they're a snake, well, I was going to say something else again, but they're like a snake oil salesman. They can get you to believe anything, and you give them your money, and it is your money, by the way. Give them your money, and there's no results. Same thing as snake oil salesmen used to do in the past. No different, because the government has no money. It is our money, not government money. And that's where a lot of people really don't realize it. The government don't have money. They work off of our money. So a lot of these, let's say Doge for instance, people are hating Elon, and I've never been a real fan of Elon, but I do like what he's doing here. He goes in and he's found waste, and I mean verifiable waste, not just a bunch of words, but these can be proven and have been proven, but yet they will still hate him even though he did good. That to me is wrong. Give the guy credit where his credit's due. He has brought out a lot of waste, and because of who's in charge, it's okay that waste is there. If it was reversed, it would be the same action by the other party. Who cares? Obviously, both sides know this going on. None of them have the backbones to go in and correct it. And a lot of your votes in Congress and that come because they're getting money somehow or another. And they don't want to offend the people that are giving them money through the back door. This is another reason why they don't want that budget passed. One is it's a political issue, and two, maybe there's some money, and I'm not saying there is, but maybe there's some money going through somebody else's hands to get to them. Because they didn't make all that extra money by just being there. Well, they did make it by just being there, but they didn't make more than their salary by just sitting on their hands. Their hands are dirty because they know they can get money. And money is a great thing to have, and the more you have, the more I say go for it, unless it's this case. Because money is the root of evil, and when you go dig into what Doge has done and what other people have brought out how these congressmen get all this money, shows you money is the root of evil. It is the root of good, but it's also the root of evil. We worship our money so bad, and the people in Congress and others, but I'm just talking about the Congress and Senate at the moment, that greed has set into them, and that root of evil of money has taken over, and they care less about their constituents. And it is so obvious this has taken place. But if it's a person doing it that you vote for all the time, you will defend them. And this is what torques me a lot, is that same person that will defend this other person for getting that money, when it's the other side or other individual, they will be upset that other party, that person should not have been doing this. Then you bring up this other person that they voted for or are behind, did the same thing, they will defend it every time. I don't defend it, excuse me, I don't defend it either way. Wrong is wrong. I don't care if you're left, right, or in the middle. When you go out there and line your pockets with money just so you are worshiping money over your people you're representing is wrong. I don't care whether it's left or right. It is still wrong. I don't get into much on politics on here, but this has got me going about the budget, because it's what I've always known is out there. And you have to go back and look how many times this has happened. When the other side had both houses and the president, the exact same thing was happening as it is on the other side now. They do not, and they will, and the thing of it is, the other side, not in charge, will say, yay, 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 look at this, it didn't pass. When they did the exact same thing. They do not want you to do anything in Congress. That's the congressmen don't want to do anything, I should say, because you're taking a political issue out of their pockets, and they hate that. They want in there because they found out a way they can get money other than their salary. When a bartender can make millions when she had very little money when she got into Congress, which means she makes more money than her job, there's something wrong there. And it's both sides, like I said. It isn't one side that's doing this. like I said, the budget, them people that don't want to vote for it on the Republican side, they don't want that issue off the table. That issue is making them money, and that's all they care about. They care less about you. Think about it. And if you have the other party in, the exact same thing will happen and has happened. We got to quit looking at what they're saying and look at their actions, because it is a totally different situation. And it always will be, unless people cower down and say no more on both sides. Because this is not a one-sided issue. This is happening on both sides. Otherwise, you would have one side when they were in charge. Everything would be cleared on the budget, no problem. But it ain't. Think about it. Think about the actions, not the words coming out of their mouth. And you will see that this is really true, what is going on. And like I say, we vote for a person we want, and all well and fine. I don't care who you voted for. You went out and voted. You should be happy at who you voted for. I'm not ashamed of who I voted for, and I don't expect anybody else to be ashamed of who they voted for. We vote for the person we think does the best job. Yes, there's people that don't do that, obviously, but that's how I do it. As far as the president goes, well, even like I said, the one guy here I'd never vote for that's a Republican. I voted for Democrats, I voted for Republicans, and I voted for independents. One of the independents I voted for was back when George Bush Sr. was running. There is no way I would ever vote for him. And I never did. I just wouldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to it. So I voted for an independent. Because I'm going to vote for who I think's the best. A party will... When you vote for just a party because the party is there, this is one reason you get people in that make more money than their salary. This is one reason it happens. Because we will not use checks and balance on our congressmen and senators. We refuse to have a checks and balance on them because of their party affiliation. I grew up, and I'm not ashamed of it at all, and I'm proud of it. I grew up in a very much a Democratic home. My dad, to the day he died, would never vote for anybody but a Democrat. My mom did the exact same thing, not till she died. But when my dad died, I'll tell you how bad it was. And I knew better to say anything. I had some nephews come around because I got a bunch of them. And I've heard, especially one, and before Dad said anything, I'm like, oh, you didn't say that. He goes in there, and he said he was going to be a Republican when he grew up. Boy, he sure wished he never told my dad that. He got the riot act. And when it come out of my nephew's mouth, I'm like, oh, that was a mistake. Well, my mom was the same way. Growing up, 100%, if you weren't a Democrat, she wouldn't vote for it. The only thing that changed her mind, and she is a very, very, very religious person until the day she died. What changed her mind is the deal with Bill Clinton in the Oval Office with Monica Lewinsky. She never voted for another Democrat after that. She was so offended by what he did in that office that she refused ever to vote for another Democrat. sometimes you see that. So, like I said, I grew up in a Democratic home, and believe me, it was definitely a Democratic home. But I am definitely more of an independent than anything else. I do lean conservative, obviously. I know some people, you can't say you're 100% down the middle. You're either going to lean left or right. And that's your choice. It's not my choice to make. I'm not going to judge anybody by who they voted for or anything else. As far as politically goes, for me, I got friends that are 100% opposite as me. We don't care. We're not so infatuated by it that our friendship depends on what we do. That's dumb when that does happen. If you're a person out there doing it, that is stupid. You don't base your friends upon how they vote or who they think is the best person to vote for. Now, that rant's out of the way. Let's get back to the Congress and Senate. How many times have you guys seen these guys go out there, beat their chests, left or right, that this needs taken care of, and when it comes up for the vote, they are the ones that don't vote for it. Why? You're taking that issue off the table for them, and they do not like that if they don't have an issue. Most of these guys in there would better for them to go out and say, we need this done or we need this done, instead of going out and say, this is what we accomplished. The negativity that wasn't done will generate more votes than going out and say, we did it. I don't know why, but that's just what happens. We all know that you got to learn in life, actions speak louder than words, and that really does apply here. Because a lot of these politicians' actions aren't the same as their word. This last budget, whether you're for it passing or not, goes to show you that. Those Republicans that didn't vote or don't want to vote for this resolution are some of the ones that were hollering that something needed to be done, and now a lot of them are using the excuse, well, we need to do this and not that. And when you change that, you will have others doing the exact same thing. That goes to show you that they don't want that issue taken care of, because it's a non-voting issue for them if it's taken care of. They need to vote saying that we got to do this and we got to do this. This is not happening. And they're right when they say this is not happening. We went in there and this did not happen. That's because you didn't vote for it or try to change it. That's why you get bills on both sides. And once again, it's both sides, not one. You'll see a bill come up and they start trying to put crap in it, or the bill itself will have garbage in it, because they know it will not pass. Why? Because they're not going to take that off the table. It is a great political issue, and they're not going to take it off. They don't want it off the table because you might not vote for them. As long as you go out there and they can go out there and say, I tried, put me in, I'm going to try more. That will get them more votes than if they actually go out and do something. They want it on the table, so they get in. The other end of it is they want to be in there because they know they can get money on the side from somewhere or another. I'm not accusing anybody of anything here. Just go look. Go look at their net worth and look at what they actually get as a salary. I don't care whether you voted for them or not. Just take a look at what is happening. Some don't get as much over what they make, but others get a big chunk more. You think Schumer got all his money from being in the Senate? Do you think McConnell got all his money from being in the Senate? Do you think the person in your district or your state, the senator, there's two in each, but how many of them has got more money than their salary? You have to wonder, and you have to look at it not as left or right, but just look at it with no affiliation, and you'll see what's really happening. Yes, Congress does not want a budget. They may say they do, but obviously they don't, because they could have it now passed and move on. I'm not saying in the future they won't, but I'm just saying this is why it hasn't happened right now. And they would soon have extension all the way through, because if they do that, they will have a way to go out and politic that things are not getting done, and it's them making things not get done. But we will fall for it. We will fall for it every time, whether you're left or right or who you ever vote for. We will fall for it, because they will use this and say, I need back in there to get this done. We just couldn't get it done this time. Well, you didn't get it done because you wanted people to vote for you. You didn't get it done because somebody is throwing you extra money somewhere. And that's it. Like I said, you got to leave the left and right out of it and look what is happening. They should be ashamed of themselves for what they are doing, but they won't be, because the dollar sign is dictating to them what to do, not the actions. They do not want you to figure it out. They think the American people are so stupid they can pull this crap off and you will never recognize it. And they're laughing all the way to the bank because you fell for it. Left or right, you fell for it. Because like I said, you had the Democrats. Did they pass a budget or anything? Oh no. Because there was enough there, all of a sudden didn't want it. Republicans now, there are also some that don't want it now. You think that's by accident or by design? Because all of them get together, they know what they want to do, and they want the people to think, because they think the people are really stupid. This is going to be to their advantage, because they think you're stupid and you will not realize what they are doing. Otherwise, one or the other would have passed the budget and we would have got it closer to a budget. But it goes to show you, left or right, it don't matter. You're getting the same results, whoever's in charge. That is because they're speaking snake oil talk, snake oil salesman talk, and there's no action. As long as the money is there, there will never be no action. There'll be a lot of talk, less action. Think about it.